What's up, my fellow weird ones? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanya Michelle, and we are not all love, light, twin flames, and unicorns over here, so please keep that in mind. And welcome to the Virgo full moon video for each sign. How this video works is basically I'm going to talk about the full moon in Virgo, what that means, what you can expect in your life and in the world in general, predictions for everybody, and then we're going to briefly go into how it's going to affect your sign. Based on your rising sign, the rising sign is going to resonate most, but you may see some themes here and there that are similar for like your sun or your moon sign as well. So do keep that in mind. So let's go. All right, so we have a Virgo full moon. What does that mean? Basically, we have a full moon when the sun and the moon are in opposite signs. They're opposite each other from the sky. The earth is in the middle and they're opposite. So the sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo. Pisces and Virgo are opposite signs. So we are dealing with the Pisces-Virgo axis here. Now, Pisces and Virgo are very interesting. Their polarity, or their axis, you could say, is very intriguing. Pisces, let's start with Pisces, where the sun is. We are in Pisces season, and I do have a Pisces season March astrology video coming this week, so look out for that. I have a lot of videos coming this week, so make sure your notifications are on. But basically, Pisces is very ethereal, celestial. It is more about water and going with the flow. When I think of Pisces, I think of the ocean. It is very dreamy, beautiful, celestial, ethereal, dreamy types of themes. Pisces is basically like laying out on a float in the middle of the ocean, just letting the ocean take you wherever you want. Virgo is the exact opposite. Virgo wants to have control. Virgo wants the details. Virgo wants to have a plan. We want to know where we're going, what we're doing, a schedule. We need a routine. You know, Virgo wants to have order, whereas Pisces is more like fuck it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the polarity of Virgo and Pisces here that we're going to be seeing come up with this Virgo full moon. With a Virgo full moon, we see Virgo themes, right? Details, order, organization, being discerning. We see possibly health. Both Pisces and Virgo deal with health. Pisces is more emotional health or even spiritual health, and Virgo is more body, physical health, because Virgo is an earth sign, right? So Virgo more so deals with the physical, the realistic, what you can see, touch, you know, all of those types of things. Whereas Pisces is more deals with, you know, the transcendence, you know, transcending the physical. Both Virgo and Pisces are very, very creative signs. They're both mutable signs. You can think of Virgo as like a really crafty kind of witch per se, and you can think of Pisces as like a musician or an artist, you know, somebody that really will go to far and wide places to find that creative and imaginative purpose in their life. The starving artist that always gets told that they'll never make it, or that's not a real job, etc., etc. So hopefully that dynamic is making sense to you guys, and hopefully that explains it a little bit more. So with a full moon in Virgo, we are going to see Virgo themes amplified. we are going to see organization, productivity. We are going to see discernment, details, health, right? Definitely things of health and service. Both Pisces and Virgo are very helpful signs. They are here to really help people. Pisces more in a spiritual and ethereal way, and Virgo more in like a practical, realistic, everyday kind of way. A Virgo in your life will literally make sure that you have everything you need, all the details are there, you know, they will make sure all the boxes are checked, they will make sure that they plan accordingly, you know, and they will make sure everything physical that you need that you have, you know what I mean? Whereas Pisces will make you art and basically not judge you and be there for you when you need a shoulder to cry on, or when you need someone to be there for you emotionally. So with this Virgo full moon, we're definitely probably going to see amplified themes of that Virgo energy, that practicality, that rationality, that discernment. You know, you may be feeling very productive wherever Virgo is in your chart around this time. You may be feeling very much like you want to be in service in some way or help people in some way. You may be needing to organize this area of your life wherever you have Virgo. You may be really focused on certain details. You know, there may be news that comes out too. I do see this full moon possibly bringing some kind kind of news, you know, probably to the world in general, or on like a global scale. There definitely could be some news or some kind of announcements, because the ruler of Virgo and the ruler of Pisces, Jupiter and then Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, are almost conjunct. They're 3 degrees off from being conjunct at the time of this full moon. So this tells me there could be some kind of message that is received, some kind of news or announcement that comes out, some kind of revelation, some kind of realization, where the puzzle pieces start fitting together in some way, or we're able to kind of see the bigger picture on something, or we have some kind of massive realization. You know, Mercury is now going forward at this time again, so it is done in its retrograde period, but now it is back in shadow, but moving forward. So we're going to start having a lot of realizations over these next few weeks about what's happened the last couple months, and what, you know, the pieces and the puzzle pieces are going to start making sense. So I do see that this could be some kind of news, messages, announcements. You could be in some kind of communication with somebody. You could learn something new. There's definitely an energy here of learning, definitely just some kind of revelation or realization happening here. Definitely some kind of new insight basically happening here, which is really cool. Now, this Virgo full moon is actually aspecting Uranus and Taurus, which is also going to add a certain level of eccentricity, a certain level of randomness, or even surprise, a certain level of individuality or rebellion. There could be a time where you're really wanting to create something, or you're wanting to end something that you've been working on, or that you've created already, where you really want to do something that's going to stand out or be different in some kind of way. Now, I think we're probably on a global scale also going to see some kind of health related news, some kind of news with possibly doctors or people that are in service to other people in some way, that help other people in some way. So definitely watch out for that. I definitely think we're going to see something health related come up this week with this Virgo full moon. So now we're going to get into the Sabian symbol for this specific full moon in Virgo. Now, the Sabian symbol, in case you don't know, the Sabian symbols are basically prophetic messages for each degree of the sign. Now, there's a certain way you have to read them and stuff. I'm not going to get into all that, but basically the Sabian symbol for this particular full moon is an expressionist painter at work. The keynote, the urge to express one's individualized sense of value regardless of tradition. Now, this is interesting because, like I said, this full moon is aspecting Uranus and Taurus. Taurus is about what we value, what we put worth into. Uranus is about individuality, and Pisces and even Virgo can deal with crafts and art and things like that. So all of that really makes perfect sense for this full moon. So it says, at this stage, the individual is seen reacting against cultural standards and stereotyped ways of interpreting his perceptions. This is a statement of uncompromising self-reliance, which may even imply a kind of defiance and a challenge to society. The mind is seeking to discover the character of the basic and true foundation of individual selfhood, the tone or logos of individual being. In the process, however, what is expressed is usually the reflection of a deep catharsis with emotionally charged and often tragic undertones. That's interesting because, like I said, the sun is in Pisces, emotion, right? And the projection of that emotion is basically hitting the Virgo full moon, right? The projection of the sun is what makes the moon light up at night, right? So it says, this fourth stage symbol brings to us the hint of a technique of transformation of the personality. What predominates is a sense of inner conflict and an over self-conscious attempt at being oneself. But there is a great difference between being an origin of development pregnant with futurity and deliberately sought for originality. So this has a lot to do with originality. This has a lot to do with possibly maybe putting too much pressure on ourselves, or picking ourselves apart, or striving for perfection in some way. And so we could definitely see those themes coming up. But just remember what I just read, or come back to this video and listen to it again if you need to. Right now, it really is about valuing your authenticity, valuing things that aren't perfect, you know, finding the beauty in imperfection. Okay, so hopefully that ends up resonating with you guys, or helps you guys, or gives you guys some kind of insight into this full moon. Now let's get into the 12 signs. Do you remember your rising sign will resonate most? Alrighty, so starting with Virgo, this full moon for you is in your sign. So this is definitely bringing a spotlight to you. This is a time where you are possibly making some changes, ending something, or there are some peak intense moments coming up to do with something that you've been working on with yourself. Maybe you've been very into self-improvement lately. Maybe you've been learning something new. Maybe you've been even teaching something new, but you've been doing a lot of work with all of that energy in your 6th house of day-to-day work and routines and schedules and health. You've been really trying to get on maybe a new diet. You could see a lot of health stuff coming up with this full moon in your sign. Some changes that you're wanting to make to your health routine, to your body in general, to your appearance even as well. There could also be some stuff coming up in relationships here as well, where you get a new insight into into a certain relationship, or into a certain commitment, or some kind of new information is available for you, or there's something that maybe you're working on with somebody else, with a partner, a business partner, a coworker, a client, something along those lines. But there's definitely some kind of new energy kind of coming in here, and also somewhat of a wrapping up of something as well. You definitely may be feeling emotional this week. You definitely may be feeling a little bit run down, or like you need to take a break. This week would be a great time to kind of kick back and relax. Take a break when you can. I know you have a lot going on in your 6th house with work and your day-to-day responsibilities and stuff, but this would be a great time to change your perception. That's really what this could be as well, is a massive perception change, a perspective change, a shift in your mindset, and there could be something going on with a partner, a relationship, a commitment, a coworker, a business partnership, or somebody in your life in general, that is really possibly, wanting your attention lately, or wanting to, spend time with you, or something like that. This could be a really good time to find a way to kind of harmonize a relationship in your life as well. So that is what I'm getting for you, Virgo. You're also learning a lot of new things in the 9th house sector of, your higher education, your beliefs, your concepts on life and the world, your philosophies, your morals, and your ethics, and what you feel that you are here to do, what gives you meaning in life. You're really wanting to basically shake something up for yourself. You're wanting to basically shake out of, or break free of, some type of day-to-day heavy work that you've been doing, and this is going to be a week that can really help you with that. So let me know down below if that ends up resonating. If you're a Virgo rising, I'd love to hear how things are going for you lately, and what you're noticing in your life lately, and the main themes that you're noticing lately. So anyways, moving on to Libra. Alrighty, so for Libras, this Virgo full moon is in your 12th house sector of basically what's hidden, where we want to escape reality, or escape the mundane day-to-day life, where we want to take a break, rest, go on vacation, get away. For that reason, this area also rules hospitals, institutions, endings, things like this. So there could be some kind of major wrapping up happening here with something from the past, some kind of habits as well. You could also see a lot of health related stuff coming up with your habits, with the things that you have been avoiding working on with yourself, some kind of self-improvement that you need to do with your health or your body, or the things, the small details that you've been neglecting or putting off, or appointments or schedules that you've been, neglecting or putting off. There's definitely something here that you've been putting off or neglecting, or there's something here that is wrapping up with your past. You may be feeling very emotional or a little bit more drained than normal this week, and that's completely normal. So just keep that in mind. You also have, the sun entering into your 6th house with Venus. So there's quite a lot of stuff that you want to do on like a day-to-day basis. You're wanting to get really creative with something. You may be wanting to create something. You may be wanting to create something new, or to, use some kind of art or creativity or imagination in your day-to-day life. You're really being drawn to do something on a day-to-day basis, or to practice something new with your health or something like that. But this Virgo full moon is like, okay, hold on, you need to go over here and organize this first, or take care of this first, or look at this first, or, get this in order first, or look at the details of this first before you can go do this, you know what I mean? So now you could also be having a massive new realization, learning experience, even when it comes to your 5th house. So there could be something here to do with your child, or children in general, or something that you like to do for pleasure, or a hobby that you've been working on, or the love life in general. There could be some kind of new perspective that you're gaining in a situation to do with those things in your life. Now Mercury rules your 12th, which is where the full moon is happening. So it could be playing out for you in that 5th house area where, maybe you've been like neglecting some of your responsibilities to have fun, or to be lazy, or to kick back and, not do much or something like that. And you may be feeling a little bit lazy. Some of you may. I mean, this is going to affect all of you a little bit differently, but these are the different things that you can notice like on a larger scale. But yeah, so you may be, this is a time to really reflect on some things and to organize some things that maybe you've been avoiding or not wanting to face in some way. This Virgo full moon is going to bring them out so you can kind of release them. There may also be some things that you need to let go from the past as well that come up around this time that really kind of change your perspective, or that give you some kind of new realization or something along those lines. So definitely let me know how that works out for you guys, Libra. And also hold on, I forgot about this part. It is aspecting Uranus in your 8th house. So this could be also some kind of random or surprising insights or downloads or events that happen in regards to finances as well, or investments, or the things that you're putting value into, the things that you want out of life. So this Virgo full moon is kind of like, hey, you can get what you want. There's something that you can break free from here. There's something that you can do here, but you have to look at these things. You have to pay attention to the small details. You have to allow yourself to kind of go into the responsibilities, or these habits or these patterns that you don't want to look at. You have to do something, or you have to fix something here. Virgo is also very much about fixing things. So there may be something coming up that you're trying to fix here. So let me know what themes you notice down below, and what themes you've been noticing if you're a Libra rising especially. I'd love to hear how things are going for you lately. And yeah, let's move on to Scorpio. All right, so for Scorpio, this Virgo full moon is happening in a spot for you that deals with your friends, your social life, social groups, networking, also basically where your dreams are at, what you want out of life, what you feel like you're here to achieve and go after, like the dreams and ambitions that you chase, things like that. So the Virgo full moon happening here could be kind of representing some kind of closing, peak moment, or ending happening in that area of life for you. This could be maybe letting go of like an old ties, or old groups of friends, or old people. This could also be some kind of peak moment to do with friends. There could be, maybe a friend that needs your help, or maybe a friend that's helping you, or something to do with fixing something with friendships, or social dynamics, social circles, things like that. Now, you do have the sun and Venus in your 5th house sector. So, you are really wanting to focus on romance and, things that you take pleasure in, possibly sex, or even children, the things that give you joy, or something that you want. But there could be something that needs addressed first in some kind of social situation before you can do that. Also, we have the Jupiter Mercury conjunction, which are the two rulers of, you know, Virgo and Pisces, in your 4th house. So this could be something, once again, I feel like you're trying to kind of go within or spend some alone time, maybe with somebody you love or doing something that you love. But there's something that needs kind of addressed in this 11th house sector for you of friends and social circles and, you know, your ambitions. It's like maybe you're having, even if it doesn't have to do with friends, it could be that you're working on some kind of creative thing or you're doing something creative that gives you a lot of passion and joy. But, you know, before you can share it to the world, it needs some tweaking or something like that. Now, you want to be careful that you're not getting like too into perfectionism, you know, that you're not getting a little too obsessive about it, because that can be something that happens here if you're not careful. Yeah, and then this full moon is also aspecting Uranus in your 7th house of relationships. So there is kind of this relationship, friend, passion, you know, possibly even children, home, family dynamic that's kind of happening here for you. I really could see this playing out where, you know, maybe there's something that you, like a date that you wanted to go on with somebody or your partner or whatever, or even just a friend in general, but maybe some other thing happens and kind of it like ruins your plans a little bit, or you know, the details of it change in some way or something like that. That's just a way this could play out. But let me know if you see any of these themes happening for this Virgo full moon and what other themes you're seeing right now as a Scorpio rising. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys have to say, so definitely comment down below. And we are going to move on to Sagittarius. What's up, Sag? Welcome back, and let's get into it. So this Virgo full moon for you is happening in a place for you that deals with career, your public reputation, your public image, authority figures, your path in life, what you want out of life, what you feel like you're here to achieve, your legacy, what you want to leave behind in this life. This is a very important area of your chart. It really deals with your adulthood and what you feel like you're here to do in this life, you know, like the foundations that you are here to plant and set that could pass you, you know, once you're gone from this world, you know, that could last even after you're gone. So with this Virgo full moon, you could see a big theme of those things coming up. You could also be dealing with bosses or authority figures, like I said, career related things, where you feel like you want to go in this life, your dreams, what you're focusing on. But with the full moon here, there could be some kind of closing out, ending, peak moment happening here, something that may need to be fixed or looked at, something that may need to be readjusted, or some kind of details that may come up that you may need to pay attention to, or something to do with serving other people or helping other people in some way, you know, really just kind of focusing on maybe responsibilities for work. You may be feeling set free from some kind of, I don't really know where that came from, but you may be feeling set free from some kind of old way of doing something, or something that felt very like redundant or mundane, or you may be feeling a little bit more liberated to or a little bit even more productive around this time as well, you know, because this full moon is aspecting Uranus in your 6th house. So this is going to be a really good week to really get shit done, to do shit differently, to really stand out, to really show your individuality, to show your originality, to show your authenticity in some way when it comes to work and your day-to-day routine, schedules, health, your career, where you're going. I mean, this is like really adjusting your schedules and certain details in your life, certain things in your life to get to where you really want to go. And it really starts with the here and now, on focusing on those details, on those day-to-day things, you know, and really looking at your priorities and figuring out how you can do something now that's going to get you where you want to be, right? So that's really what I see here. There could be definitely some kind of message, communication, new perspective, realization, or, you know, some kind of meeting or something coming in, or it's definitely something where you're possibly learning something new, a new skill, something like that. With Mercury conjunct Jupiter this week, this is going to be a massive learning experience for you. You know, some kind of news or announcement coming in as well. You could be feeling very busy. You could be having a lot of clients or a lot of bookings if you have like your own services, or you could be having a lot of errands that you need to run, or a lot of things that you need to do in your local environment on a day-to-day basis. Now, yeah, and then you also have the Sun conjunct Venus in your 4th house almost. So well, it's not conjunct just yet, but it's coming up on a conjunction. So this is definitely going to be a time where you are feeling, you know, there may be something that needs your attention in the home and family life, or something that you've been really wanting to do, or something that needs harmonized there. But first, your attention is being drawn to fix something within your career, or your future, you know, more future focused, something like that. So definitely let me know how this plays out for you guys down below. Come back and let me know how it plays out as well. And if you see any of these themes at all this week, I'd really love to hear about it and hear what is going on with you guys as Sag risings. And we are going to move on to Capricorn. What's up, Capricorn? This Virgo full moon for you is happening in a place that deals with your belief systems, higher education, foreign travels, other cultures, you know, publishing, also, you know, religion, politics, your worldviews, the law, also just basically where you feel you have optimism, where you have hope, faith, where you find meaning and purpose in your life, right? So this Virgo full moon could be definitely bringing up a lot of those themes in your life. You could also be seeing a lot going on with what you feel your purpose is, or what you feel like you're here to do, or where you want to move forward, what needs to be adjusted, fixed, or perfected in order for you to see some kind of new, to see something in some kind of new perspective or new way, you know, have some kind of new realization, or, you know, to change your perception on something. This has a lot to deal, I think, with your perspective on situations and your belief systems, any beliefs or opinions that could be holding you back as well. You know, this also has a lot to do with learning. You know, you could be finishing up some kind of learning project or learning situation that you were dealing with, or a course or something like that. There's definitely kind of a peak moment, or even like a wrapping up happening here when it comes to you know, learning and things like that, and how you view the world. Now, this is also possibly you readjusting your priorities, or even having more priorities than normal. You could also be having some news come in about money this week and resources this week. You could really be feeling, you know, you could be investing in something new, or you could be, you know, learning something new about money, or there could be some kind of communication coming in for you, or even some kind of mail coming in for you to do with money. But it looks pretty good because Mercury is conjunct Jupiter, and you know, this is going to be like an expansion, or possibly even some kind of luck or benefit coming in when it comes to resources or money. So definitely let me know if that happens for you. I'm kind of anxious to know. Also, Venus and the Sun are in your third house sector. So definitely some kind of news messages coming in there, harmonizing something through some kind of conversation, possibly doing something creative, or even learning some kind of new skill, or working on some kind of skill that you have, you know. So these are the main themes I'm really noticing for you, Capricorn. This full moon is also trining Uranus in your fifth house sector of children, romance, love, joy, fertility, you know, creativity, what you find passion in, what you do for fun. So you're definitely going to be feeling energized, or possibly motivated to do something new, or to do something that you love. Watch your spending though this week with that Mercury Jupiter conjunction. You could be feeling very much like you're ready to spend, or, you know, like maybe you get some money in and then you're like, oh, okay, well, I've been really wanting this thing, and yeah, you know. So just watch your spending though. It's not that you can't, it's just more so you want to really have like a plan, and you really want to like follow your plan and your details and all of that. So let me know if you see any of these themes down below, or if you already are. Please feel free to come back and let me know as well. I really love to hear about what ends up happening for you guys, and if any of this plays out, it really helps me as an astrologer. And I would also love to hear what themes you're seeing in your own life right now, and your own stories and all of that. We are going to move on to Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, so for you, this full moon is happening in your 8th house sector, which deals with other people's money, investments, debt, anything to do with other people's money or resources. Any handling that you do with other people's money. This can deal with stocks, this can deal with investments, this can deal with banks, this can deal with loans, this can deal with bankruptcy. This can also deal with your partner's money, or any money or resources that you share with another person as well. So yeah, that's basically where this full moon is happening. So you're going to notice a lot of themes coming up with money, finances, things like that, possibly your partner's finances, investments, loans, all of these types of things. There may be something ending here. You could be paying something off, or there could be something being adjusted. You know, you really want to focus on the details here. You really want to engage in some kind of detailed overview of what you're looking at, maybe have some kind of plan, maybe you're working on some kind of plan for something to pay something off. Though this full moon could be an ending or a wrapping up of something as well, or just a peak moment. So you could find that you are, you know, like all of a sudden your debt just kind of, you know, like is finally paid off and you didn't see that coming for some reason, you know, or something like that. That's just an example. I'm not saying that's like for sure going to happen, but because this full moon is aspecting Uranus in your 4th house sector of home, family, the past, you know, your childhood, property, real estate, all of these types of things, land. So there could be something going on there with that. There could be like a little bit of a surprise or breaking out of something, breaking free from something, something kind of finally working out. I mean, this really looks like a pretty beneficial full moon for most signs. So yeah, so there could also be a focus on your own resources, your own money, your own finances, your own priorities. And so this full moon could be bringing up kind of the opposite of that, like other people's priorities, other people's resources and money, or your partner's resources and money, to fix something or adjust something or something like that. So definitely let me know how that ends up playing out for you guys down below, and what happens there. There's also possibly some news coming in this week for you, or even a perspective shift for you coming to do with your mind or communication, because Mercury in your sign is conjunct Jupiter. And so yeah, you could be definitely initiating something new or learning something new this week about yourself or about finances in general, because Mercury and Jupiter both rule your financial houses as well, where the sun and the moon is for this full moon, which is really interesting. So definitely let me know how that goes down below, Aquarius. I'm really curious to find out. So anyways, let's move on to Pisces. So Pisces, this full moon for you is happening in your opposite sign of Virgo, which is your 7th house sector that deals with relationships, commitments, partnerships, basically how other people see you, your relationship to other people in your life, your marriage, if you are married, your commitments, I think I already said that, also negotiations, contracts, coworkers, clients, things like this. So with the full moon happening here, opposite your sign, you're definitely going to notice more of a focus on other people and relationships, and possibly even helping other people or serving other people, or them helping you in some way. There's definitely going to be kind of this helping vibe going on, possibly even detail-oriented themes, perfection themes, possibly wrapping up something or ending something. Your partner could be ending something in their life, or wrapping something up, or going through some kind of peak moment as well. So you're definitely going to notice other people really coming up this week for you. Also, you know, we have, you know, Venus in your sign now with the sun. So, you know, you're definitely possibly feeling more of a focus on yourself, your body, your health, you know, your vibe, your style, all of these things. And so you're really possibly wrapping something up with other people. So, because then you're going to start worrying more about yourself and what you're doing and what you want and all of those types of things. We also have the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction happening in your 12th house. So this could be some kind of hidden insight, some kind of new revelation, some kind of new spiritual revelation, some kind of even possibly awakening, or you know, download, or something like that. There's definitely going to be some kind of hidden messages coming in, or a lot of synchronicities happening for you this week. We also have Uranus aspecting this full moon from your 3rd house of communication, the mind, perception, your local environment, siblings, cousins, neighbors, distant relatives. So there could be a theme of those things coming up as well. Also travels and transportation and what you do on a day-to-day basis, writing and all of these types of things, meetings. So there could be something kind of happening here where something kind of random happens or unexpected happens, that kind of helps you maybe fix something or puts you back on track in some way, or some kind of communication comes in that you weren't expecting. So yeah, definitely let me know how that ends up affecting you guys down below, Pisces. I'd really love to know. And we are going to move on to Aries. All right, Aries, this full moon for you is happening in a place that deals with your day-to-day life, your job, your coworkers, your day-to-day routines and schedules, the responsibilities that you have on a day-to-day basis, also your health and pets. So with this full moon here, this is really kind of bringing up energy or certain events, or kind of pushing you to focus more on the details of your day-to-day life, your diet, your health, your routines, your schedules, your work. So you could be feeling very busy this week. There could also be things that you're doing for other people in some way. So with this full moon here, you're definitely going to be noticing more of a push to be more present, more focused, more in reality. But we have the Sun and Venus in your 12th house. So you're probably going to be feeling pretty lazy, or at certain points, or at least after this full moon. You're probably really wanting to like take a vacation or take a break or relax, or kind of like get out of the everyday norm. You know, you're kind of wanting to like disappear for a little bit or get away from all the busyness. But this full moon is like, hey, we really need to focus on these things. These things need to get done. And so you're going to be feeling kind of this push and pull of that this week. You know, this is a really good time to organize things, organize, you know, your work area or your home if you're working from home, or, you know, to get things done that have been needing to be done, to pay more attention to the details of things, to perfect things, to fix things. So this is going to be a really good week for that. But also we have the Jupiter Mercury conjunction happening this week as well in your 11th house sector. So there could be some kind of news or some kind of communication that comes in from social groups or friends or networking, or you know, people that you're social with in your life, or old acquaintances that kind of come back around. But this Mercury Jupiter conjunction is also possibly giving you some kind of revelation, or putting some kind of puzzle pieces together to do with the last month or so that Mercury's been retrograde, because now Mercury is going back over where it was just retrograde. So it's really showing us what we may have not seen before. It's really kind of expanding our perspective on things. So you also have Uranus in your second, aspecting this full moon. So your second house is about your resources, your finances, your assets, you know, the things that you have, the things that you possess, your values, your priorities. So there could be some kind of things that you weren't expecting coming up with that, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be like a bad thing. You could say it's more of just like something that was unexpected. It could actually be something really interesting or really good happening with that. Some may notice something with money, some may not. It's not going to be all of you. So definitely let me know how that ends up happening down below, Aries. And if you see any of these themes at all, I would really love to hear about it and hear what's going on with you guys. So anyways, moving on to Taurus. All right, Taurus, this Virgo full moon for you is happening in your 5th house sector of children, romance, love, sexuality, fertility, where you find your joy, basically, where you find pleasure in life. It's also the house of fortune in ancient astrology, so it can be very fortunate as well. So the Virgo full moon here is really pointing to where you may need to pay a little bit more attention to the things that you love, the things that you enjoy, the things that give you happiness, the things that bring you joy, right? Where you find pleasure, and where you may need to add a little bit more of that into your life. You know, there could also be something that you're working on that you're very passionate about this week, or that brings you joy this week, where you are needing to fix some things or perfect some things with this as well. So we also have the Sun and Venus in your 11th house sector of friends, social groups, networking, also your ambitions, your goals. So you're definitely thinking, you're definitely future thinking this week, or future focused, I should say this week, possibly doing something creative or wanting to put something creative out in the world. But with this full moon in Virgo, it's kind of bringing back in like, okay, hold on, does it still need some work, or do we still need to work on some things? So that's one way you could also see this playing out. Now this Virgo full moon is aspecting Uranus and Taurus in your first house, so you could be feeling a little bit, this could be actually a way for you to express your individuality, your authenticity. If you didn't hear what I said about the Sabian symbol for this full moon, this would be a perfect, like what I read with that Sabian symbol earlier, that would be like perfect for you guys. If I could say what I see in this horoscope right now for you guys, it would be that Sabian symbol. So go back and watch that if you haven't already. The first like it's probably only like the first 10 minutes that I really talked about in general, like the astrology in general. So it's not like you're gonna have to like sit there forever, but yeah, so I would definitely go take a look at that, because that's really what I see happening for you guys here. There's a need to express your originality, your independence, your authenticity, to, you know, this is really helping you express that Uranian energy that you've probably felt trapped with for a while. It's like you want to shake things up, you want to break free of certain things, you want freedom and liberation to be yourself and who you are, and to value what you really value, and to do what's important to you. And this full moon is making a beautiful aspect to that. So it's going to help you liberate yourself or express yourself in a way that's going to feel like relieving to you, I think. So now we do have the Mercury and Jupiter conjunction happening in Aquarius this week as well, in your 10th house sector. So there could be some kind of major new insight or news or announcement or information or a new revelation or a perspective shift, or, you know, something like that happening in your career or with an authority figure, or a new goal or a plan, or something new that you're wanting to achieve, you know, when it comes to your legacy, what you want to leave behind, what you want to do here while you're on this earth, what you want to build here, you know. And so this is going to definitely bring in some major new energy for that, or help you put some kind of puzzle pieces together on what's happened around like the last month since Mercury's been retrograde, since Mercury's going direct now and meeting up with Jupiter. So this is going to really help us expand our knowledge or learn something new about what we've went through. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Taurus. Definitely let me know how that ends up resonating with you guys down below. And if you end up seeing any of that happen, I'd really love to hear about it. And we are going to move on to Gemini. Alrighty, Gemini, so the Virgo full moon for you is in your 4th house sector of home, family, real estate, property, land, your past, your childhood, your parents, your family, things like this. So you're really going to see a lot of themes coming up with those themes that I just named off. You're going to see a lot of things coming up with that. This could be a time where you are perfecting something in the home, or with somebody in your family, or that you are fixing something or helping somebody. This could definitely be a time of that, or where you are organizing your home. You're probably going to feel like a major, massive energy of like, I need to get organized, or I need to organize my house, or I need to organize this over here. So definitely let me know how that goes. Or your mother could be in a very organizational mood as well. It could play out that way as well. So let me know if you see any of that. Also, we have Venus and the Sun in your 10th house sector. So here's the thing. You're becoming more future focused, more focused about your goals, your achievements, what you want to do while you're here in life, what you want to achieve, what you want to leave behind, your legacy, your career, your public image, your reputation, all of those things, but also authority figures as well. But you have this full moon happening in your 4th house sector of home and family. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what do I need to organize first in my foundation before I can build upon my foundation, right? Like, what do I need to do at home? Or, you know, this full moon is kind of pulling you back in, where it's okay, like, we need to fix something here, we need to organize this before we can just go and do all that, you know? So that's one way that this could be playing out for you. Now, this full moon is also aspecting Uranus in your 12th. So somehow those energies, those full moon energies I was just talking about, are going to somehow liberate you from some kind of past issue, or even some kind of subconscious habit that you've been stuck in, or something like that. It's definitely going to free you from something that you've been holding on to. This would actually be a really good time to get rid of things that you don't need anymore, to like clean out your closet, to clean out your house, something like that, spring cleaning kind of energy here. So we also have the Mercury Jupiter conjunction happening in Aquarius in your 9th house sector of your belief systems, politics, your worldviews, your religious views, your philosophical views, basically what gives you meaning and purpose in life, and also education. So you could be really expanding your knowledge about something around this time, really expanding your mind. You could be getting into like some kind of feng shui as well, since we're doing like a lot of home stuff here for this full moon as well. You could be you know, possibly wanting to start some kind of new spiritual practice, or take some kind of course, or go back to school for something. So this is going to be really interesting. Definitely let me know which themes you guys notice down below if you're a Gemini rising, and how this full moon ends up playing out for you. Feel free to come back and comment and let me know. And yeah, I'd really love to hear about that. So we are going to move on to Cancer. All right, Cancer, this Virgo full moon for you is happening in your 3rd house, which deals with your environment, your community, your close friends, your distant relatives, siblings, cousins, things like this. Also the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your daily schedules and appointments, the errands that you run, the places in your environment that you frequent, all of these types of things. Also travel, transportation, things like this. So you could be seeing some kind of news coming in here, or some kind of messages coming in here. You could be feeling very busy around this time. You could be trying to organize something, or get organized, or perfect, or fix something in your environment. There could be something going on with like your neighborhood or your community as well. Now, we also have the Venus. You could also be learning something new, or ending something that you're learning, or that you've been learning, wrapping something up that you've been learning, or focusing on some kind of new skill or something like that. But we also have the Sun and Venus in your 9th house sector that deals with higher learning and education, foreign travels, all of those types of things, your belief systems, where you find meaning and purpose throughout life. And so you're really wanting to focus on these types of things, but there's something that needs to be adjusted here in your thinking, or your thinking patterns, or your thinking habits, something like that. Now, we also have Mercury conjunct Jupiter this week in your 8th house sector in Aquarius. So you could be finding some kind of news, or having some kind of new revelation, or some kind of new message coming through, or something that you are learning about finances, business, investments, things like this. So these are also themes that you could see coming up around this time. Now, this full moon is also aspecting Uranus in your 11th house sector. So there could be some kind of networking that you're doing here, some kind of meetings that you're having with other people for this full moon, something that you are possibly teaching or learning with other people around this full moon as well. Definitely let me know how that plays out for you, and where you end up seeing these themes, Cancer. I'd really like to know, because this is kind of interesting. So I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say down below, and you can always come back and let me know how this full moon plays out for you. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you, Cancer. All right, Leo, last but not least, my fellow Leo risings. This Virgo full moon for us is in our 2nd house sector. So this is going to be about our money, our assets, our possessions, what we have, what we own, right? Our priorities as well. So there may be something going on with those themes this week. We may be fixing something here. We may be readjusting or replanning something here, because we're really getting ready to move into this Piscean energy that's already kind of started, of other people's money, other people's finances, investments, where we want to put our money, what we want to do with our money, how we make our money, as well in some ways. Also like our partner's money, or loans, banks, credit, debt, things like this. So we're just money or resources that comes from outside of us. So this could be a really good time over the next few weeks, where maybe a lot of Leo risings are getting their taxes back, or maybe you're filing your taxes now, something like that. So we're definitely seeing a lot of financial themes in the following weeks, starting this week. Now, we also have Uranus aspecting this full moon from Taurus in our 10th house. So this could be a time where, maybe we are making some unexpected money from our career, or we are inventing something new, or we are expressing ourselves or our originality in some way, that with our career, or with what it is that we want to do in the future, or what it is that we want to build, our legacy, etc., that somehow is going to bring us some kind of money or resources. We also have the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction happening in the 7th house sector of relationships, partnerships, commitments, negotiations, contracts, also, just basically the public and the people in your life. So we're definitely seeing possibly some new revelation here to do with relationships, or some kind of news, or new revelation, perspective, or like your partner could be learning something new if you're in a relationship as well. This could have to do with your partner, but it definitely deals with that relationship theme. So definitely something here with that, but that is basically what I'm seeing for us Leos. So hopefully that ends up resonating. Definitely let me know down below if you end up noticing any of these themes. I'd really love to hear about it, and hear if any of this ends up happening for you. And I will see you guys in my other videos. That is all the signs now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. The March videos are coming out very soon, and yeah, bye.